So the first burning question, I guess, is the ISO system, has that been misunderstood? And can you tell us why?
Yeah, I think it definitely has been misunderstood, and I was one of the ones that misunderstood it, frankly. So I'm a big Algorand YouTuber. I do a lot of I cover other stuff too, but Algorand's probably like 90% of my content, if not more. And one of the big selling points of Algorand that's been going around is that Algorand is one of like a 5 or 6 coins that's ISO 20022 compliant. And the way that gets sold is it says, well, this is great because it means it's all set up for cross-border payments. And so I've been, it's something that I've been spreading. I've seen it everywhere. I hadn't really seen any criticism of that. And so I recently did a video about comparing. I've been doing videos where I compare other blockchains to Algorand, and it's kind of a way to explore those other chains and look at. It's not necessarily critical or trying to say that Algorand's so much better, but one of the things I said in my videos was, well, Algorand is ISO 20022 compliant, and Near is not. Well, someone commented on my videos saying, that really doesn't have anything to do with anything, right? Like there's no such thing as an ISO 20022 compliant coin. And I was like, well, that's crazy. I mean, it's like everywhere. I've been seeing this all over the place. I've never seen that before. And I'm always someone that likes to correct my mistakes or try to get it right. But I was pretty floored by that. I was like, well, that seems odd. And then he goes, yeah, well, here's a video, here's an interview with the Algorand Foundation CEO Stacy Warden, where she says it's nonsense. She basically says, so she's in an interview with JT Invest in You, who's another Algorand YouTuber. And he asked her about, so it's been reported that Algorand is ISO 20022 compliant. This is a great thing for the ecosystem. And she says, well, actually, reported is the key word because we have no idea where that came from.
This next question is a little bit more of a highbrow question, I suppose, but the global financial messaging standards have been evolving over the years, and the European and American central banks have signaled that November of this year being the go-live date for the new standard ISO 20022, in which Algo is one of the 5 cryptos reported to be compliant with this new standard. How will this change affect Algorand, if at all?
Yeah, the most important words in that question are reported to, because like we don't know where that came from. Honestly, that is my honest answer for that. It doesn't make any sense actually that a layer 1 protocol of any kind, now us or the other 4, would be, ISO. It's a messaging format standard.
Yep.
So how would that be baked into a layer 1 protocol? Like I don't even really understand what that means. Now you could have a smart contract driven way that, if it didn't conform, maybe the transaction doesn't go through, or you could imagine somebody, this is maybe not a bad idea for somebody to come up with a smart contract mechanism whereby this was kind of part of it was the if of the if then statement. And you're not wrong. I mean, it's like on the internet that we are part of it. We don't know where that came from.
Now, she says like it's a messaging standard between banks, basically standardizing the syntax that banks use in their messaging. So it really doesn't have anything to cryptocurrency. She's like, I don't know how this would be, how a cryptocurrency even would be compliant with that. And then I checked in with the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer of Algorand, who basically confirmed the same thing. Now there's a messaging field, so you could adopt the same standard, but it doesn't really like give you any advantage as far as I know. It would just be like window dressing, I guess. And then now so I made this video talking about this. Since I made that video, Ripple or XRP's former chief engineer also said the same thing. Like, this is nonsense. There's no such thing as a cryptocurrency being compliant. And in making the video, I also dug through ISO 20022's website, which is not the most interesting reading in the world, I will tell you. But I saw nothing at all to do with cryptocurrency other than Stellar and XRP are on the ISO 20022 board, which makes a lot of sense if you're trying to inundate yourself with banks. You want to be involved in their boards and whatnot. But really, so I put this video out and I got three different kinds of responses. I would say 40% of them were like, I had no idea about this. This is really interesting. Another 50% were like that. 40% were like, man, I've been saying this all along. Finally, someone's made a video about this. And then I got about 10% that were like, no, you're wrong. I see this everywhere. You just don't know what you're talking about. And usually they don't have any sources to go to. I've been saying, hey, if you've got a source where that like legitimate source that says that this is actually true, then, feel free to send it to me. And what I get is like a Yahoo Finance article with 0 sources cited, and it's just basically a blog post. So it's really interesting how this thing has propagated, but that's kind of the story about how the video came about.